What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel Today we'll probably wrap up the last video that I'm going to be able to get out pre-patch. Next couple days for me are pretty busy, and at this point we've only got 2 days before the patch actually drops. Today is Monday. Really looking forward to that, but frankly, there's just a lot of information out there, so if you're looking for something in particular, you can probably find it. But the one thing I did want to cover is something that I actually have not seen a lot of people talking about. Um, I have seen people mention it as far as the fact that it's in there, but what it actually means for the overall game, I think is going to be a much larger impact than people are really making it out to be. If we go over here and take a look at the forums, this is the Kabam forums. This is the full patch information that's being rolled out here. If you scroll down and just before the actual individual changes to the characters are listed there, there's just two little lines, which I guess they were just kind of trying to sneak it in there, but I think it's really something that could have a big impact on Alliance Wars. Let me just read it for you here. Additionally, one of the biggest changes that will affect many champions is that regeneration effects are all changed to be calculated off of base health. That's the big part there, calculated off base health rather than modified health. This will prevent champions like Wolverine or Ultron from being unbeatable when they have a large modified amount of health. What I think that they are trying to do with this is to create bosses in the lower tiers that are easier to deal with. Because to be honest, once you get up into the higher tiers of Alliance Wars, you are not going to see these regen champions like Wolverine and Ultron. You are strictly going to see champions, probably just Mystic because of Mystic Dispersion. So you are going to see tons of Magic and a lot of Juggernaut. I cannot even remember the last time we were in an Alliance War when it was not one of those two characters. I think maybe a week ago we saw a Spider-Man in my battle group, but that was the first time that I had not seen a Magic probably in 10 to 15 wars. So I think the intended purpose of this nerf is for the lower tiering, but the unintended consequence of this nerf, I believe, is that bleed champions, really all bleed champions have seen a buff, but in particular bleed champions who can stack their bleeds and stack other debuffs are going to see their usefulness in Alliance Wars absolutely go through the roof. So what I want to do is I want to pull up X23, and I want to go into a duel and show you what I mean. So give me just 1 second. Okay, so I have the leaderboards pulled up, and I am just going to duel a random character here at the top. And what I want you to really focus on here is the amount of willpower. Let me pause it. The amount of willpower that Quake is getting back. Because no matter what node she's going to be on after the patch in Alliance Wars, and this goes for any character, regardless of whether they have 100,000 health or 180,000 health, whatever regen amount they're getting in these duels here that you see from their base stats, that is the exact same amount of willpower regen that they are going to be getting in these Alliance Wars. So watch out for the amount of health that she's getting back, and also keep in mind the more stacks of bleed that I put on to the enemy, because I have the Despair Mastery, they are going to be getting less and less willpower regen back. So you may see it at, let's say, I don't know, 65 or so with one bleed stack. The more I put on, you'll see that number kind of drop down. So let me get in here, and hopefully we can stack a couple of bleeds. Okay, so we've got 3 on. Looks like she's getting 59, went down to 51, all the way down to 43 with 5 stacks. And she is getting absolutely blown up, and we'll just let her bleed out. Just like that. Let me see how many hits that was. 17. And that was a absolutely stacked 5-star Quake. Took only 17 hits. I would say that every bit of, I mean, I'm not going to go back and count it, but that was probably 3.5, 4,000 damage in bleeds alone, just within 17 hits. Let me go back here and let's find a more quote-unquote tanky character, somebody who would have a higher amount of base health. So let me get right back in here and find a Juggernaut or a Rhino. There was a Juggernaut right there. I really would rather do Rhino just because I don't want to mess with the Unstoppable while I'm trying to talk. But of course, Rhino is a very low prestige character, And of course, I'm probably not going to find one. That's okay. We'll just use this Juggernaut right here. So even though that this character's base health is probably, I would guess, somewhere around 3 to 5,000 higher than the Quake. Um, oops, I'm sorry. It is very difficult to deal with Unstoppable and talk. Even though his health pool is significantly higher than a character like Quake's would be, the amount of willpower just cannot keep up with the amount of bleeds that you'll be able to be putting on these characters. So let me see here. And of course, I've gotten 0 bleeds here while I'm talking. Let's try not to get killed. So there's one. He's getting back. What is that? 61 health. Not playing the best here. Come on, I just need a couple of bleeds for purpose. That's okay. So 123 is the bleed I'm getting back. He's getting back 61. Now getting back. He was getting back as low as 48 right there from his regen. So I know I got killed. That's not the purpose of it. You can go back and you can watch the video. The point that I'm trying to make here is that within the patch notes, I think they've got hidden this. I don't want to call it a secret buff, it's right there, but it's a buff that I don't think that people are really taking into consideration just how powerful these bleed champions are going to be. So all I'm trying to say is this: if you have got a character like the classic Wolverine, Wolverine X-23, Black Panther, Guillotine to some extent, Gwenpool definitely if you have been able to pull Gwenpool. These are all characters that I would highly recommend before you do any ranking up. Watch some videos of Alliance War gameplay with these new bleed stacking champions. I will do my best to get a video out as soon as I can after Wednesday showing X-23 and Alliance Wars, but I think they are going to be absolute wrecking balls when it comes to Alliance War on offense. In the actual patch notes, Wolverine and X-23, they didn't really have, they weren't listed there. There wasn't anything showing them as getting a boost. But I think hidden within this nerf to willpower, they may have received the biggest buff of all. Because unlike the other characters who can stack bleeds, they are really the only two that I can think of that have a legitimate way to regen their health, which just gives them the utility that really no other bleed stacking champions have at this point. A couple other characters to keep an eye out for would be the new Punisher and the new Winter Soldier, to a little bit lesser degree, but definitely the new Punisher. Was very surprised to read the patch notes and see they had given him very much like a bleed effect kind of flavor. He's also got the new passive Deep Wounds that's coming out, so that will be interesting for testing. Winter Soldier's S1 and S2 now have a chance to trigger bleed. He now has the Incinerate ability and he can increase the longevity of a bleed effect based upon which ammo he's got loaded up. Also coming to the contest soon will be Archangel, which if you have not watched any videos on that, there's several streamers who have put out information in regards to his abilities. He is a very much offensive based character from what it looks like. Can stack both poison and bleed. Has an ability, I believe, called Neurotoxin, which he can apply as well. So if willpower has really been nerfed as much as it appears to be, these characters, and especially Archangel, are going to be absolutely wrecking balls, blowing through people in Alliance War. Now, I'm not saying that they are going to be as good as Scarlet Witch or the absolute best character to take in, but if these are characters that you have not been using in the past because of the effects that willpower has on them, definitely think about bringing them in and giving them a shot. I'm really excited. I'm not sure that everybody is as excited as I am to see this patch dropping on Wednesday, but I am certainly excited for the fact that there's some new life being breathed into the contest and a lot of new characters to kind of play around with and test out with that were not really viable options before. I hope that was a little bit better of an explanation on the nerf to willpower than I gave this morning. I was kind of fumbling all over my words this morning. I knew what I was trying to say, but I just couldn't get it out clearly. So I'm sorry for that. But if you have any questions in regards to the willpower nerf, or really in regards to anything that has to do with the patch, you're more than welcome to leave them down in the comments or to catch me over on Twitter. I mean, that's what I'm there for. I'm here as a content creator. I'm here to take suggestions. I'm here to help answer any questions that I can, and I really enjoy doing that. So thanks for taking the time to watch this. I hope it's helpful to you, again, as we prepare to jump here into patch 12.0 dropping in just a couple of days. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Until the next one, have a great day.